All right, so I'm going to call the order. We have roll call. I'm Marjorie Winters, Jason Levy is here, Don Eaton, Joe Campolito, and Jason Berman are here, and Tom Hazel for staff. So new business, we have none, but old business. We have the application for 21-17, applicant SLR International Corporation, owner Simsbury Public Schools, -34 Farms Village Road, a replacement and expansion of bleachers and press box in the upland review area. So Kevin, would you like to, there you are. All right.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thanks for having me back. As you mentioned, we're here because we are representing Simsbury Public Schools, and they would like to replace their pretty old grandstand system, and at the same time replace their existing press box. As we discussed at the last meeting, there's some code issues with the existing structure being over 50 years old. And they have capacity issues when it's game night. They don't have enough room in the grandstands. So they would like to try to take this opportunity to upgrade to a more modern system that is state building code and ADA compliant. And then also slightly increase the capacity with hopes that they could get, most of the student body on there for a special event, or if, it's game night, allow all the spectators a good view of the game. Last time we went through the plans, and I'd be happy to go through them again, or I could bring up the aerial. I know there was a couple questions at the end of the last presentation. Based on our inland wetlands delineation report, our wetland scientist noted some areas along the Hop Brook where there were some invasive species, autumn olive and multiflora rose mostly. And there was a question if we could somehow, as part of this project, work in some invasive species management or removals. And then there was also a question just about right now around the track facility and around the field is maintained lawn right up to the existing fence line, and if there was another option so we didn't have to have disturbance that close. So with that said, can I share my screen? Where'd that button go? Oh, there it is. I'll share my screen quickly, and please stop me if you have any questions. So I'll start with the aerial, and I've gotten a little bit better of controlling Google Earth. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just turn this off. So here is an aerial view of Simsbury High School at 34 Farms Village Road. The area we're talking about is the very west side of the running track where the existing grandstand is. The upland review that we're associating this project with is Hop Brook, which in this area is actually off the property, but it does right around this northwest corner enter back onto the school property. I said I got slightly better at this. So the plan is to increase the capacity of this bleacher, add accessible ADA accessible ramps, because the capacity will be going up, and even at this side, it does not have currently enough points of egress if it was a new structure. So this is not a perfect scale model, but there's the existing bleacher. And you can see the width of the new structure is where we're picking up those extra spaces. At the north, which doesn't really show up too well here, there would be an accessible ramp system, that switchback. This shed that currently exists would be removed. I don't know if any of these show it, but there's an existing CMU storage building underneath here, which roof is currently integral with the bottom of the grandstand. That structure will remain. We don't really want to touch it because it is useful to the school, and it also would just have floodway implications that would be probably budget constraining to deal with at this time. Not to say it won't eventually go away, but it's not part of this project. The new structure basically is going to have the same line, but because we're getting bigger at the northwest side, we're getting a little closer to the property line. One item I wanted to show just on the property. Do I have to reshare, or do you see the PDF?
Don't see PDF.
Okay, where did the reshare button go? Let's see. So I'm going to stop. Okay, new share. Got it. So here's the proposed enlarged grandstand system. You can see the ramp on the north side. There'd actually be 4 staircases. 3 is really only what's required, but we didn't want to restrict access across the front of the running track. What I wanted to point out, and I don't think I pointed out last time, is we have the existing vegetation line back here. Here's your wetland limits on the top of the page. And the 100-foot upland review is this line out here. So it's well into the track and we're fully in there. Right behind the grandstand now is a 6-foot chain link fence that runs along the vegetation line. The property line, there's another fence, which is right under the dark property line. In between these 2 areas is where you have that dense evergreen vegetation that was obviously intentionally planted to be a screening, a buffer back in the past. The invasive species, after talking to my wetland scientists, are mostly right along the waterfront edge. So they're actually off the property in this area. As we get further along the north side of the school's campus, he did note there are some, but we have this nice dense vegetation here. And for sake of this neighbor who knew he bought a house next to a school and an athletic field, I think he really values that buffer. So I don't know how feasible as part of this project it would be, especially if these are not on the school property, to get in here and do some management. But it's not to say that either as part of this project or another, we could look at doing some work here. The report from my wetland scientist said, well, yes, there's autumn olive and there's multi-floor rose. It's not excessive in his opinion. It was scattered about and more towards the waterfront edge. So I just wanted to bring that additional information to you. And then the second question was, well, we still have this area of right now lawn that's behind there. Would we consider doing something else? And I had mentioned that, we have this storage building under here that we're going to maintain access to. But one of the good benefits of this new, more modern type of elevated grandstand is we have very few vertical supports. So we're creating a big area of protected space under this grandstand. And I know the athletic director and coaches intend on fencing this in and closing it and using this as, non-protected, non-environmentally protected storage. So while they wouldn't be opposed to it not having lawn here, we talked about gravel, maybe a gravel surface, something to keep maintenance equipment out of there. The concern was, dragging track and field mats in and out, dragging hurdles, things of that the grass is probably one of the more sensitive to the equipment type of surfacing. So we're open to what the commission would like to see back here, but that was just our thoughts on that question comment. So with that said, I'd be happy to answer any additional questions, bring up any additional graphics, and look to hear what you have to say.
Thank you. All right. Do the commissioners have any questions? I'm personally sorry to hear that the plants are off-site. It's a shame. That's a shame because that means it's not doable. Unless the applicant, the neighbor says, yeah, sure, go ahead, but that's a whole other issue.
I think, just because they have this vegetative buffer and even since this new property owner moved in, they've put a nice windscreen on that chain link fence to further buffer. Yeah. I think he's saying, stay on your side, I'll stay on mine. And I won't speak for him. And
I think the minutes should reflect the multi-flower rose and the autumn olive are scattered at this moment. Mm-hmm. They become denser at a later time, but that's too bad. And you said that the grass was more sensitive to the.
Well, so if you're dragging in track and field equipment, football sleds, it's a little easier to drag on grass than it is on gravel. Yeah. And we obviously don't want to promote any additional paving in this area. So I'm thinking, if it's gated off, I don't think they're going to be driving mowers in there, and it's going to be less invasive to whatever is living in that wetland corridor. It's really going to be a limited use space for coaches and just during, times of practice and
well, it's a small
seasonal.
area. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions? I know we saw this, most of us saw this last time. So if there are no other questions, would anyone like to make a motion for this application?
I'll make a motion.
To
No, right now.
and the motion,
Sorry.
She can make a motion too.
All right, say hi.
hello. Hi there.
You're now in perpetuity on history. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone like the second?
Wait, we don't really have a motion then.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. You got to go through the whole rigmarole
You have to
there,
go.
Jason.
You know you're distracted.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I motion that we find that this is a regulated activity as it is occurring entirely within the upland review area.
All right. Do we have a
I'll second.
all right, all in favor? And any discussion? All in favor? All right. And any opposed? All right. Good. All right.
I motion that we find that this is not a significant activity as there will be no disturbance to the actual wetlands, and it's already well-developed area where all the construction is.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And I motion that we approve the application subject to the standard conditions and any special conditions, although I don't think we discussed any.
Oh, I think that's the standards.
Standard is all we
Standard.
discussed.
The standard conditions.
I'll
All right.
second that.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And that's it. So thank you very much, Kevin.
All right. Thank you. Have
All
a
right.
nice night.
Thank
Kevin,
you.
I'll be in touch and we'll get everything squared away.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So we're on to general commission business minutes. I did have a couple of corrections in the fourth line. It said that I nominated Jason.
Oh, I'm sorry if I got that wrong.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, because someone was on vacation at the television station. The meeting was not up when I did the minutes, so I was going off of the top of my head in some notes.
Okay.
So where's the mistake?
It's the fourth line. It says I nominated Jason, but I remember I called for nominations. I think
I think
Jason
I
nominated, you
myself.
nominated yourself, and I think Joe nominated himself. So just to
Jason.
correct that.
Yep, got it.
All right, and that was the only thing that I had. Did anyone have anything else? All right, so do we have a motion to accept the minutes as corrected?
I will make a motion that we accept the minutes as amended.
Thank you, Joe.
Second.
Jason seconds. Jason Levy. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, good. On to agent actions, application 21-18, 37 Berry Lane, construction of a deck on the upland review area.
All right, let me throw all this other stuff on the ground and pick this one up.
Sure.
This one was for an application for just a deck on the back of their home. The deck was 99.87 feet per GIS from the wetlands edge. So we were just on the cusp of being in the upland review. From the proposal of the deck being 24 by 12, there were approximately there was a little bump out too on it. So there was approximately 6 piers involved with this. They were just 10-inch piers proposed for the support of the deck. No other disturbance to the ground in the upland review area. Didn't see any need for any crazy E&S considering the topography of the land. All materials were staying on property and just being shuffled around the footings as most homeowners will do. It was a homeowners type project. So I approved that in lieu of the commission.
Okay, anyone have any comments on that? All right, thank you very much. All right. So,
I'm glad we delegated that.
yes. That's a
It,
great
it
question.
couldn't have been closer to the buffer cutoff there. I mean,
But I still, keep you in the loop. You
Thank you.
police me, and we make sure everything goes well. And I think they were doing the right thing. So
Those
It's
are our
appreciated.
regulations.
it is
yeah.
the right thing. It's appreciated.
yeah.
Thank you. All right, moving on to correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
I haven't anything fresh or new from either the state or the town as far as projects are concerned. I think we're pretty much up to snuff at this point. If anything comes up, I will certainly report at the next meeting.
All right, all right. And I know it's always awkward. We're having open space meeting tomorrow, and I think the open space is going to be forwarding some things to the town, and we should have them for the next meeting. Tom, can you?
Yeah. I think we're doing the ag lease.
Agricultural lease.
The lease and the open space criteria, and a couple other things, see what comes out of the other side of that, and then we'll have that report for the next meeting.
Yeah, let's
I'll
put
make-
them on the
I'll-
agenda for next meeting.
Yeah.
And does anyone have any other
Just
correspondence?
a general question for Tom. Is there any news on development of Tower Ridge? I think it was like a year ago we had heard that they were potentially going to develop that. I don't know if anything came of that or.
You're going to have to bear with me on this because I get beat up in the office about this. Now, Tower Ridge being the old golf course to the south on Nod Road, or the apartments on Hot Meadow?
The old golf course.
Okay.
Flip side.
I've
Old
got
flip
you.
side.
I've got you now. They have been doing work.
Tower Ridge.
Yeah, the old Tower Ridge golf course. The ridge at Talcott Mountain is the other one, and I tend to
Gotcha.
do a little dyslexia on that. So
That's fair.
the old golf course, they've been rehabbing the clubhouse. They got rid of the pool.
Okay.
They have designed a disc golf course at this point. So Frisbee golf, and they have opened it up to limited invite only testing. It was designed by someone who designs courses. It has gotten some very good reviews on its technicality and its complexity, not meaning that there aren't things for everybody there. From what I understand, and I don't have it in writing, but the understanding, it's like $5 a round, go play 18 holes of Frisbee golf and come back and have a bite to eat and a few beers or something. So it's definitely cheaper than golf. I can attest to that.
The last I heard is they wanted to put a neighborhood there. So that's.
Nope. And so if you're looking south, the clubhouse is to the east.
Yeah.
The west side has a lot of wetlands, and they have not come up with a formulated plan for that. Some ideas have been planned in the past to maybe turn that into agricultural for some food to table in a restaurant at the location, but nothing's come in concrete form at this point in time. So that's still up in the air. If there's anything on that other side of the road, it definitely will come into our purview unless it's an as of right use like agriculture.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for the update. Clearly I was not up to date on what's going on there. And
No, they're just trying to make use of it, and they're doing it. They seem to be very, very invested in moving forward.
That's cool that they're doing disc golf there. I had no clue that was happening. My coworker will be thrilled.
That was the last thing I heard was disc golf was proposed, and that some people have played a course that was designed. So whether that is full truth or half truth or partial truth, leave it as it is. But I believe the last time I drove there and when it was flooded, I didn't see a lot of activity out in the fields, but you never know with disc golf because it's more natural type of game.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
And speaking of applications, is there an application before the town for the development of the area that had come before Canton on Route 44 on the Trattoria?
There was a proposal that was denied by Canton. Our side had done, I don't know if we had taken action or approved what was previously proposed on our side of the line. But due to the denial of Canton, the last thing I heard that there was a proposal for an access road to make use of the property and enjoyment of the property. And that was pending.
Okay. With that,
What was that?
That
So-
was the
Latrattoria?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, the La Trattoria. There was a pre-proposal for a electric vehicle showroom.
Yeah.
Not direct sales, but electric vehicle showroom and some other things. I don't know if there was a gas station involved. I can't remember the details, but Canton had denied their approval. So they went back with just a basic access road, because there is property in Simsbury. So for proper access off of 44, they have to go through Canton. I think they don't have a full development plan. I believe that they're just proposing an access road for the use and utilization of their property. And that's where I think it stands in Canton.
Because I heard, I read in the Valley Press that it was the EV vehicle showroom was denied, but I read like the next day or the next article where there's some restaurateur that was going to move in there. Almost like a hibachi type. He has.
I heard that was someone who has a restaurant in Torrington was gonna.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that.
They have an existing restaurant and they wanted to go in there. And I drove by there Sunday and it looked like the roof of La Trattoria sections were removed, not like jagged, but like you could see like a rectangle had been cut out. Maybe they're replacing or repairing water damage. It looked like it was deliberate.
There could certainly be another proposal for that site that I'm not aware of. I honestly have not monitored Canton's agendas. The last thing I heard of was a possible access road that was proposed. They could be rehabbing that facility. I would recommend
the access road thing too.
It could be one. It could be both. You could maintain the restaurant site and still have an access road. I don't know the exact pending applications in Canton. I just know that Simsbury does not have anything pending on their zoning platform as far as that property is concerned at this time.
thank you. Well, keep us in the loop on that one.
Certainly.
That would be good.
And the bridge by EB, Henson Bickford. When are they going to start that? I see the sewer replacement?
Yeah, that's the
a big thing.
WPCA. WPCA seems to have the first go at it. That's for the sewer replacement. It looks like the culvert issue is going to work from the Benny's Artie's wine store property. That's where the main activity is going to be, because I think that's where the main breach is. So they're going to probably sleeve it all the way through and fix whatever repair is detrimental in their parking lot. I think that's the general understanding. I could be a little bit off on that, but I know that the owners of that property have been notified that there's going to be a disturbance to their parking. So I believe the break is more in their property past the main stream area. The storm drainage is breached somewhere in there. And then after the WPCA moves through and this problem's fixed, then the DOT is going to come in and do the bridge repairs with all the utilities that cross that bridge. And there are quite a few.
So that's a few months off down the road.
I think there might have been a few delays due to these things. It's kind of all happening at once, but it seems like WPCA got the first bite at the apple. The emergency is probably going to get the second, if not in conjunction with the bridge repair, because if they're going to be doing bridge replacement and splitting traffic and putting in temporary structures or anything like that, it gives them an opportunity to disturb other areas at the same time. So
yeah, I saw some apparatus behind Benny's. I went to get gas at the Pride station.
Yeah, so if you saw it behind Benny's, they're probably getting ready to go. Yeah, they're probably getting ready to go.
One of them was like a giant, looked like a generator. It was huge, but it had like a big pipe, like an inlet. So
that's going to be the water diversion. That's their water diversion apparatus.
It was pretty darn big.
Yep. There's a lot of volume flowing through there, and if they have to divert the water, they're going to need something large like that. That's a constant flow.
All right, so we've sort of taken up conservation business unless anyone else has anything for conservation business.
Nope.
All right, well, that moves us on to adjournment. So do we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll move to adjourn.
Thank you, Joe. Who'd like to second?
I'll second.